the defense is in a dilemma. She's so fast. It's immediately, what am I gonna do? If I go over, she's gonna beat me to the rim. And if I go under, she could step, I mean, it's why we're putting her in those spots a lot, because of her ability to get downhill and then make decisions at the rim or shoot the three.
Meg, I'll actually start with that one. I think Caroline kind of just said it, but 24 points tonight for your career night. What was it feeling like out there?
Yeah, first I just have to credit my teammates. They were finding me in positions to get me to be able to get in the paint. Obviously hitting a couple threes, but I just wanted to go in and show that we have a really good bench and we can play together, we can play fast, and whenever we were able to get deflections and defense, that really dictated our offense as well, so that really helped.
And you guys are 9-1 in your last 10, but prior to that run, Dallas comes back from 13, beats you guys on the road. How much of that, even though the first round is set, how much of that, of tonight rather, was just getting that one back?
Yeah, I think, whenever you play a team and they've beaten you in the past, you always want to get that one back, especially because it's the last meeting. But we really just wanted to focus on ourselves and to be able to put together a good performance before playoffs and to just get everyone involved, to get everyone contributing, get minutes, get rhythm. Because you never know when your name is called, especially when playoffs come around. So we're really just excited to move forward and to start a new season, really.
Maggie, you kind of just mentioned it, just not knowing when your name's going to be called, but obviously for you and the rest of the reserves tonight, how important was it as far as knowing if there is an opportunity in the playoffs if your name is called? How important was it for the collective effort for you guys tonight?
Absolutely. I'm just really proud of each and every person that came into the game today. Whenever anyone was called, they were ready to go. And obviously we're in really good shape too, because a lot of us played high minutes and we haven't been doing that all year. So that's just a credit to our strength coach, our trainers, everybody that's involved in getting us ready. They do a great job every single day and they don't always get the credit. And so I just want to give them a lot of credit. I wouldn't be able to be as good a shape or in strength without them. So just excited to keep that going.
I guess going along those same lines as well, going into the playoffs, what kind of message does this send about, the reserves for the Aces and going into the playoffs and just, what might be coming up?
Yeah, we're deep. I think that's really important, especially going into playoffs. You never know what's going to happen, whether there's foul trouble or whatever it is, we have to be ready. And I think, this game showed that we can all play together no matter who's on the floor. And we were rotating a lot of players and getting different looks all the time, and that didn't really matter. We still played pretty well together. I thought we moved the ball super well, and playing defense too.
Hey, Megan, Corey here from the 9450. You've had an amazing career, just being in the league, as long as you have, being with this team. Can you just speak about your journey in the league and also being around this team? I mean, it just seems like this year, I could just tell a difference between the way you play, the way you're interacting with the team. I just see a different player. Can you just speak about your journey in the league and your opportunity to, play for a championship this year?
Yeah, well, if anyone remembers me in college, I was a completely different player. I didn't shoot outside of 2 feet. So just to be able to extend, and I love shooting threes. It's been really fun to develop that over the past 6 years now. It's been a roller coaster, but I'm really grateful for really every opportunity I've gotten, and it did start with Dallas. They drafted me, and I developed there, and moving forward through each team until now, I've just been able to be behind the scenes, and I don't mind doing that at all. But just being able to provide whatever I can. At the end of the day, I don't care about my individual stats. I just want to help the team, whatever they need, whether they need a 1 minute or if they need 30 minutes, I'm going to be there and I'm going to be ready.
Hey, Megan. It just seems like the team has caught fire at the right time. Just how do you feel like the team's confidence levels are going into the playoffs?
Yeah, we planned it that way. We we want to make sure we were playing our best basketball right now. And we're just really excited to keep moving forward. But obviously we wish we could have gotten some of those earlier wins back. But peaking at the right time is super important. So we gotta make sure we can keep that going.
Megan, how does a performance personally for you? What does that do? What does a performance like this do for your confidence personally?
Yeah, I think most importantly is just getting rhythm. I think a lot of the bench players can say the same thing tonight, is just to be able to go in and have that confidence. But we've been doing this all year just with limited minutes. We've had so many great people coming in, from, Sydney always bringing us huge energy minutes. You've seen that all season long. It's just in a little bit shorter, time lapses, but to be able to extend that, to be able to have consistency, that really does bring confidence, to myself, and I know my teammates feel the same.
Got one more in the room, and then Nikias, you're next.
Meg, this team had 35 made field goals on the 15 made threes, 22 assists. You yourself had 24 points in 29 minutes. What was clicking on offense tonight?
Yeah, I think with the bench specifically, whenever we've played together and whenever we've come in, we've really emphasized the importance of pushing the ball, pushing the pace, being able to play with drag screens and kind of, paint spray, getting rebounds, getting defense, and just really upping up the pace. And I think did a really good job tonight of doing that and sharing the ball.
Nikias.
Hi, Megan. Congrats on the win and on the career high. Quick question about a possession in the third quarter where you got the ball around the elbow area, and instead of flowing it to a handoff, you faked the handoff, got to the basket, drew a foul. And that felt like one of the few times that you've kind of faked the handoff and got all the way downhill. Just if you could talk me through what you were seeing on that particular play.
Yeah, sometimes I do that, but that's not very often. It was just kind of a read in the game in the moment. I saw that they were, guarding our guard really pretty closely, and I thought I had a little bit of space. They gave me a little bit too much space, and it was to my left hand. I have a lot of confidence in my left hand, and I didn't make it, but they fouled me, so that works.
Thank you.
Matthew?
Hey, Megan, congrats on the win. I wanted to ask you, how much does it mean to you and to this group that on a night like this, when none of your core four are playing, that the energy they brought on the bench was the same kind of energy that you guys bring on the bench to them every night when they play?
Yeah, I think it was really fun just to be able to have that support. I'm not surprised at all. It's just like who they are as leaders. They're great at encouraging us no matter what's happening, whether we're on a good run, a bad run, mistakes, whatever it is, they're always going to be encouraging us, and we try to do the same.
Megan, if you like, you can stay. You can.
I'll go.
Leave to fire some.
Don't do that. I thought you liked me.
Love you, Tip.
Maybe not, John. I don't want it.
Thank you.
So you take the whole table down.
And she brought us gifts.
Oh, yeah, I did. You let me go.
Definitely down here, Jose Walumpe. With your journey being a bit different, you weren't on this team when the season started originally, and now the season is over. You're also being talked about as possibly 6th Woman of the Year, big conversation out there. I know this team isn't about individual accolades, but can you talk a little bit about your journey from the beginning to now ending the season and moving into the playoffs?
Long journey, man. It's been fun. It's been a lot of hard work. They trusted me bringing me in here, like Becky always said, straight off the beach. So I had time to really get my mind right, and get going with this team, Joe, with this team, and I'm glad I was able to get that time and not have any pressure in my head or pressure from everybody, so it was really good, and I'm grateful that I had the journey that I've been having so far, because it's been fun, it's been hardworking, which I love, and it's been up and down the whole season. As you see, it's not the season that we're used to here. I say we because I'm here now, but but it's gotten better and better, and at least we're going this way and not this way. So I'm grateful for that. So it's been a really good journey for me.
Hi, Tim. Kevin K. Lewis of the 9450. You and Sid Colson had a successful run of, let's say, ball screens and DHLs today. What did you see in the Dallas defense that helped you get the advantage for you and Sid to get to the rim early and often?
Just great screens by our post players, and just us reading that, and whether we're getting downhill and scoring or getting downhill and finding those spray out threes and everybody knocking them down. But I just credit that to our post players really getting the angles of the screens right so that we can get downhill.
Hey Tiffany, I'm over here. Some of your biggest games this year have been when you've started, talk a little bit about just, taking advantage of the opportunity, the confidence in that situation, yeah.
I mean, I just go out there and play whether I start or not. And I have realized that I've done a little better when I start, but at the end of the day, it's just like I said, I always take what the defense gives me, and I do what the team needs of me that day. And today was a little bit more scoring, so that's just what I did.
Any more for Tip? Over there. Got one more. Sorry. Right behind the corner.
I would have 30, but I got scared and made you sick.
I got scared too. Beat them.
So you talked about, you said coach was talking about you got you off the beach, but like 5 months into retirement, what like makes you pick this team or just like say, okay, I'm gonna go and play for this team, and then like can you speak about the culture and just like how you fit right in as soon as like the first game I seen you play, it just seemed like you've been with them all season.
I mean, I just credit that, I guess, to the self-work that I have been doing with myself, with even making the decision to retire. Everybody thought I was crazy. Everybody thought, I have a lot left. I know that, but it's just a decision that I made within myself that I felt was right for me. And then when they called, I thought about it. And again, it was a decision that I thought would be good for both of us, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm like, why not? Why not come to the best team, the best coach, and the best players and people that I've heard and seen about in this league? Like I said, I talked to people before I came. AC being one of those people, she's been 6 man of the year. So just getting that from her, getting the blueprint from her. Now I'm up for 6 man of the year. So I just go off of feeling now, and I get a good feeling when I'm here. I get a good feeling when I heard about being able to come here. So that's what I went off of mostly.
Nikias, was your question for Tiffany?
Nope.
Yeah, I had a quick one, if that's okay. Well, if she wants to go, she can go. Like,
Come on, man.
She got a whole wait for her. Nikias, come on, let's go.
I got you. I want to bounce off of the pick and roll question from earlier, as you have been one of the most efficient guards in the league against unders this season. I want to know how you kind of struck the balance between taking those pull-ups against unders and calling for rescreens and getting downhill.
I think that's just an in the moment read. I don't really know how to answer that. Just giving what taking what the defense gives me in that moment. If it's a shot, and you take it, and if not, you call for the rescreen, and that's what's best for the team. So that's what you do in that moment. It's not a made up thing. It's just a read at the time.
I think Nikias, the biggest, as soon as she has the ball, the defense is in a dilemma. She's so fast. It's immediately, what am I gonna do? If I go over, she's gonna beat me to the rim. And if I go under, she can step. I mean, it's why we're putting her in those spots a lot, because of her ability to get downhill and then make decisions at the rim or shoot the three. She's just reading defense, but immediately the defense has to make a choice. And then it's just her read after that. But I put the ball in her hands a lot, even when she's coming off the bench. Like I want to run actions for her, one, because I have a tremendous amount of faith in her basketball abilities, her skill set. But also it's the force and the energy that she plays with that gives us as a team a different gear. She's just so fast that. And she's 30. Yeah, but like I stop the film sometimes and I'll just like watch how fast she is, because, and then like I said, she shot people are choosing to go under, but by the time they go under, they're like 8. She's wide open, like she kind of has no choice. She has to shoot it. Like that's what is called for in the moment. But she's been awesome for us. Her teammates love her. I love her. She fit in. I mean, from day one, just fit.
Thank you.
Tip, if you'd like to stay and listen to a lot more praise, you
I
may.
did not. I love it though. Thank you guys so much.
Becky, too, if possible. The first one is pretty simple, but how much of a luxury, can you speak to how much of a luxury it is for you to rest 4 Olympians and then the other 2 go off?
Well, it's a luxury. You know, this team is probably the most talented team that we've had since I've been here. The depth, just the quality of player from 1 through 12 is really good. And I thought KB, you know, she was on her deathbed the other day, so sicker than a dog. And to come out after not having played in a live game like that, I thought she was so good. Meg was super solid. I mean, everybody that touched the floor just did their part. AC, Tip, Sid, I mean, those are vets. They know what to do. You give them the ball, they know what to do. So it's one of my, I really enjoyed that game actually. Like just not the defense at times, but like just overall, like just watching how they got up and down the floor and really shared and played with each other.
Becky, what does this do for those girls' confidence going into the playoffs, the reserves mostly? What kind of confidence does this game provide for them?
Well, I mean, coming in tonight, I'll just say my thought process was I'm always going to do what I think is best for my team. What was best for my team was to get those 4 rests and to get the rust off those other ones, but they weren't very rusty. They just came out and started playing and hooping. But to fine tune your bench and get them ready, because we know anybody's number can be called over the course of the next month. And for everybody to stay sharp and go out there and shoot the ball and share the ball and defend the way they did, rebound the ball, they should have a whole lot of confidence. Not only them in themselves, but in the person next to them.
Tonight's game with 3-point shooting tied the season high with 15. I guess in the game was so with the bench being so involved. Did you expect them to shoot so well from the perimeter?
I mean, they can shoot. They can all shoot. Everybody knows I love shooting. There's not really anybody in the gym that can't shoot. So they were going under a lot of pick and rolls, but I really loved our pace, particularly in that first half. Like the ball was just popping, the bodies were flying around. We kind of ran out of gas. I mean, 8-man rotation is tough, and I didn't want to overplay Kia. I didn't want to overplay AC and Tip. So we were tinkling with lineups a lot over there, but I thought, I mean, Queen don't even know how, like a quarter of our sets. You know, everybody just came in and played really well, really solid. So they do shooting contests with each other all the time, and that bench can shoot.
Coach, congrats on the win. With it officially being postseason play now, you guys have your eyes on that, of course. Can you describe the level of hunger that this team has, and is it any different than the previous 2 going into playoffs?
I mean, that's probably a question you need to ask the players. I don't ever want to speak for them. But I can tell you, since the last time we played Dallas, it's been a different kind of vibe. Different level of focus, different defense. I mean, we're doing the same defense, but like they're doing it and executing the schemes, our base really, really at a high level. And there's been multiple games, you know, where well, pretty much the past 10 games have been about defense. It's been our defense that's given us a chance to win games. Seattle, you know, we went on a huge run, but we held them about 4 points. They hit Gabby Williams hit a 3 there at the end, but 4 points over like an 8-minute span, like that's really hard work and good attention to detail, because there's so many good players in this league. And I don't care who's sitting out not playing. Like I've just seen it too many times. It's just a natural human nature to exhale when the other team isn't playing someone. And so that was my biggest concern is, you know, okay, Jewel and Ezzy aren't in there. And I was like, don't exhale, just keep the gas pedal down. And, you know, we had a stretch there where it got away from us a little bit with turnovers and not getting stops and not being smart. But overall, I really like the direction that we're headed in at this point in the season. If I had to pick a time to play well, it'd be at the end of the season, not at the beginning or the middle. We want to be playing our best basketball, and so far right now, that's what it's looking like.
Time for a couple more, get on the back.
Coach, talk about Sid. It seems like this year she's on a different level mentally and more focused. Just talk about the growth you've seen of her owning her minutes when she's on the court.
Yeah, I mean, she's silly, she's hilarious, she's one of the funniest people I know, but like at the end of the day, like, and I've said this before, don't get it twisted, Sid is the adult in the room. Like, she knows exactly when and how to turn it on. She's always prepared, she's always ready. She is a peacemaker in the locker room all the time, things come up, little scuffles, little things. I mean, we're like a big family in there. Like, we spend so much time with each other that little stuff comes up, and she's just somebody who I really trust a lot, her maturity and who she is as a person. Last year, it was really tough to get her in at times because those other people were playing at such a high clip. It's like, who are you gonna take minutes from? Kate, I mean, they were all shooting the living crap out of it, and I just think there was just more opportunity. Chelsea not being healthy, to start the season. So there's lots of little things that were just little windows that when she came in, she just blew the whole house up with her energy and her enthusiasm and how she plays the game. She's just super disruptive.
Hussein and Danny, and we'll close it out.
Becky, you talk about some of the players you guys brought in, Tiffany early, Queen later, and then tonight's game just shows how when you guys play as a collective, no matter who's out there, next woman up, next man up. But can you talk a little bit about your coaching staff and what that says about them? Because I feel it doesn't get talked about as much, what they do to prepare these ladies to get ready when their name's called.
Yeah, I mean, I love my staff. I got a great staff, and probably the best thing about them is their strengths and weaknesses really complement each other. And I'm not gonna sit there and say I was some guru and like, no, it's just, I got lucky. I got lucky with that staff. And you start with the basis of great knowledge of the game, great people and great work ethic, and then you kind of build out from there. And Tyler, Nat, CT, Celia, who you see behind the bench, Rich is in the back, everybody kind of just does their part. I try to be crystal clear with everybody's roles, what I need certain people looking at, what they need to work on, and then we kind of, formulate a game plan. But Tyler and Nat, I mean, they've spent multiple years in the NBA with development, with film, and so I have complete trust in when I tell them, hey, let's try to work on this, that they're gonna come up with something specifically that gets those pieces prepared and ready and improved. KB's a great example tonight. I mean, KB, she hasn't even sniffed the floor, and to come out and just be ready, that's really hard to do. I was super proud of her tonight. And like I said, really everyone down the roster. This is a team full of professionals. They take their craft very seriously. I know they seem goofy and funny and silly at times, and they are. But when it's game time, and they're ready to go.
What's that, Danny?
Becky, just any early thoughts on Seattle? We just saw them a couple of days ago. What are you expecting now that it's going to be a best of three?
They're a very scary team. They have a lot of experience. They have, a legit like big three, big four. Gabby Williams certainly adds another element to them, especially defensively. So they're playing really well. They definitely pose some problems. So I expect nothing. They're well coached. So I expect nothing but a dogfight. So, I mean, my early thoughts are, if we don't take care of a few actions and a few like personnel things, they can beat you and they can put a lot of points on the board fast. So, as usual, the name of the game, especially with their offensive tools, is going to be defense and rebounding.
Thanks, Becky.
Thanks, Becky.